Hey, what's up, all of you beautiful subscribers? So where have I been? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some businessy stuff today, some startup stuff, and just my own personal business venture vlog today. That's what this is going to be about. So where have I been? Let's talk about that first. So if you're listening in podcast form, right now I'm taking the camera into this office here, normally where I do all my work. And right there on the floor is my makeshift bed. And I've been... So where have I been? I've been literally just working here 24/7 for the past 3 weeks or so. So I have not been uploading as much, and my apologies for that, but I've been working really hard to get this. You guys know, I've been building this e-commerce marketplace. I've been learning how to code, and well, now I know how to code now, which is really weird to say. And so I want to do a beta launch on October 1st. And so let's just update you guys on that first. So I'm building this e-commerce marketplace. What's happened in the past 3 weeks? How far has that gone? How far has that come? Well, so branding's done. I got down, you can, technically if I were to launch the site today, here's what it would be. You could go in, you could register your account, you could sign up and log in, you could post products, you could search for products, you can click on them and view them and all that stuff. And so, pretty much a lot of the bare bones of the site is done, plus a lot of the layout and branding, like a lot of the design is done too. And so I've been really busting my butt with that the past few weeks. And so this is also important too, is just the perspective of what it takes to do something like this. If you want to code, this is kind of what it's like. It's literally you just wake up and you work and you sleep on the floor. If you want to do a startup, I mean, and it's also like that's just pretty much been my life recently. So the marketplace is coming along very well. So obviously I need to do a lot of touch-ups on some stuff, like the search engine needs some updating and sorting and some stuff like that within the site. But the only major thing left to do is to hook up the payments. That's really the last thing left. I've done a lot of the back end work. I've done a lot of the front end work, and it's honestly the last part remaining is to hook up the payment system. So this is actually, you know what, here's a good thing to vlog. So I've run into a ton of roadblocks the past 3 weeks, which is one of the reasons why I haven't had any time to make videos. I haven't had time to do a lot. I haven't had time to work out. I've probably put on at least 10 pounds in the past month or so just from not working out, which is kind of sad. But I've run into a ton of roadblocks, and the biggest one that I found was actually the payment system. Because I could set up my own, but I need to contact banks and credit card companies, and that would delay everything like months and months and months to get that done. And so I found a workaround. It took a while, and I was seriously considering, like, why am I doing this? Why am I building this? Like, why? I wasn't seriously considering stopping or quitting, but it was like it entered my mind. But then, you know, I just keep working and you find a workaround, and that's just how entrepreneurship is. It's you find ways to get around the obstacles, and I've found one. It took a few days to find out the payment stuff, how it would work, but hey, I found it. Now I just need to implement it into the system. Who knows how long that will take? If it will take 2 weeks, if it'll take 2 months, if it'll take 2 days, I don't really know at this point. But that's the biggest update for the website right now. So I might reveal the name pretty soon, actually. Maybe I'll just do it on October 1st. We'll see. My branding done, like right now. It's just crazy. I mean, thinking back, it's just 2 months ago, guys. 2 months ago, I had no idea how to code. 2 months ago, I didn't have any of the skills. I probably could have just done a WordPress site or something like that, but I couldn't build it how I wanted to. I couldn't have full control, couldn't do the features that I wanted. And so that's why I did this. And it's just really, it's really cool to kind of see, like, I remember last night I did a full out test for the search engine last night. So I tried testing, I put up like 3 products on there right now just to kind of test, see what happens. And so it worked, and then I was able to sort all the data by, you know, price or by whatever name, by location. And I remember the second that I fixed, there was a bug last night where I couldn't sort the data, but I could find the products. And as soon as I fixed that bug and I could sort everything and the search engine was working and the products were popping up on the page, like this big feeling of like, accomplishment kind of set in. I know it sounds really, really stupid because it's like, well, there's tons of sites with searches, and you can do it on the WordPress site. On any WordPress site that I set up, you guys can, search whatever the hell you want and sort it however you want. But like when you do it from scratch and it's really hard to explain. I put in so much time and effort into this, and I mean, last night was kind of crazy. Everything just started clicking at once, and it's come a long way. And so I don't know, I promised I'd give you guys updates, and this is a big one. So I'm gonna keep giving you guys updates, obviously. I mean, I think that why I'm not vlogging right now is because updating like coding, like what are you gonna do? What am I gonna show you? Like, oh, I wrote this 100. I don't want to give away the IP of the site too, because I am building it, the intellectual property. So I don't want to like go and show you guys the code or the screen or anything, but I'll show you the site when it's done. But that's kind of boring. That's like a skill. That's like a skill that not a lot of people want to have. It's usually when you're building a tech company, you can hire someone to do it if you really want to. So I'm gonna start vlogging right when the site launches, right when I start, marketing and selling and going, doing whatever I'm doing to try and actually grow the business. That's when I'll start my like daily vlog of trying to grow stuff. Now I don't know how much content I'll have, because I can tell even when I launch the beta version, I'll still be coding. Instead of coding 14 hours a day, I'll probably only be coding 6 to 8 hours a day instead of 14, and then I'll spend another 6 to 8 hours trying to market and sell stuff. And I think that's probably what it's going to be like. And then eventually, once I can build the site up a little bit more, I can work on it less, maybe hire a developer, and then try to grow it a little bit more. But yeah, I think that this is it's really cool. This is a startup life, guys. It's not for everyone. And it's the like, I don't exaggerate. I'm not exaggerating with you guys when I say that like I've probably left this office for collectively like 6 hours in the past 3 weeks, maybe to go get some groceries, to get some food. I've been I've been having a lot of McDonald's recently, which is probably why my belly's a little bit bigger. It's definitely not for everyone. So I mean, are you guys willing to do stuff like this? I mean, who knows if this is even going to pan out? But I mean, this is kind of what it takes to build a company, a tech company specifically. It's for a few months you have to live like crap, and that's just the way it is. Unless you have a lot of money to start with. But if you're watching this, I know a lot of you watching this, you're actually ahead of most people your age in terms of your business skills and probably the amount of money you have, the amount of income. Because a lot of you are doing side stuff, a lot of you are selling stuff online, a lot of you are have jobs and just investing in real estate, or interested in that stuff. So a lot of you do have more money than the average person your age. But you need to, in order, actually, what's funny? I got a quote from, I guess, a development team, a web development team in the city here, for how much money it would take for them to essentially do the site that I've almost done right now. That I'm like probably 70% to 80% of the way through the beta version, and then maybe I'm only like 20% through the final product. But I said, how much would it take to get the site done for how I wanted it to, and implement all this stuff? They said 80 to 100 grand. $80,000 to $100,000 is the going rate for pretty much the site that I'll have done, by not October 1st, but October 1st will be beta, and then I'll improve on it the next few months. But think about that. Think about that for a second. Just by learning this skill, potentially saving myself 80 to 100 grand. Now, sure, I could probably get some, person on Upwork or something like that and said, hey, can you do this site for 20 grand? Maybe I could have found someone like that, but I'd want them to be like around in the city so I could go visit and get updates and things along those lines. I mean, that's another thing too, of the drawbacks of why I didn't want to hire a developer, especially online, was because it felt like I wouldn't have control over anything they do, and they could go in, and I wouldn't know how to change anything if I really wanted to. And the fact that I've built this from scratch, I mean, it's really cool. I don't know how to explain the feeling. And the other thing too, what was I going to say? I was going to talk about how like my programming knowledge right now is doing a comparison. It's like it would be the equivalent of like when you learn a programming language, it's similar to learning like a human language, like English, French, whatever you want to call it. And so right now I'm at the point where like I could be fluent in like about 3 or 4 of the languages. So we're talking the basic stuff like CSS, HTML, Java, and JavaScript. Like I'm fairly fluent in that. I can go and essentially do the equivalent of speaking, being creative with it, reading and writing in it. And the back end, which I'm coding in PHP, I've done. I was going to do Python again. Actually I was going to do .NET too, the Microsoft version, ASP.NET. But the back-end language, it's essentially like I can read, but I cannot write or speak the language. I know that sounds really weird, but it's like because when you hear something this is kind of a psychological thing. When you hear someone speak a different language and you know a lot of the words, you can kind of pick up what they're saying. So if you say like je m'appelle or je suis, I am, I don't know, what's the word for good? It's been a long time. God damn it, I forget. If someone says like je m'appelle Jack, you can assume that they're saying like I am Jack or my name is Jack or something like that. But if you were to want to say my name is Jack and you hadn't heard French in a long time, you might take a second here to be like, oh, I don't know that word. And so that's kind of what it's like in coding right now. It's with the back end, it's like if I were to see a line of code on whatever, the internet, if I were to see it on whatever, YouTube or something, I could completely understand what they're saying, but I wouldn't have come up with it like solely on my own. Now saying that, so how am I coding the back end? And so what does back end mean? Back end means there's 2 things you need in order to build a website. Build from scratch. You need the back end, and you need the front end. So the front end is the stuff that you see, the consumer, the customer, the person accessing the website. That's what you guys see. You do not see any of the back end really. So the front end is essentially just the design of the site. It's the design, how it looks, maybe some basic like JavaScript games, like some stuff that you can click and this will happen on the screen. And so that's kind of like the easy stuff. And then the back end of the site is pretty much where the intellectual property is. The back end of the site is, when you sign up for Facebook, it saves your account, it saves all your pictures. It's the entire functionality of the site is the back end, and the front end doesn't even do anything. So if you're a front end developer, front end is really, really easy. I can do it now fluently, and the back end is still really, really tough. And so how am I coding the back end right now? Like how am I actually building the functionality? So what I'm doing is, I'm essentially Googling if I want to know how to start a session or how to let someone log in. Okay, that's a really basic thing. How to let someone log in. So what I'll do is I'll go online and I'll look up, how to, code for a login system or something like that. And from that, there will be like whatever, 50 lines of code. And maybe from that, I'll take like, maybe 10 snippets of it and kind of reorient that and implement it into my own site. And so that, I'm not like, obviously not even close to, I don't even know, what's the deal with IP for coding, by the way? Do you have to like do you have to buy some of the code if you were to like rip it off? That's a really weird question. I'll look into that after. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm doing right now is I'm using jumping off points with the back end technology. So just seeing a line of code that someone else using, it clues in like, oh, I can put that in my site. And just trying to integrate it in a way where I'm not stealing or anything like that. It's like how, a lot of, like for example, my business news, my YouTube videos that I make on business news, what I do is I use articles and I use headlines from, whatever site, CNBC, TechCrunch, MarketWatch, whatever business site, and I I don't read the article, but I use the article as a jumping off point for talking about my own opinions. And that's kind of how I'm built. That's weird. That's a good analogy, Jack. That's actually kind of how I'm building the back end of the site. That's how I'm building the back end of my site. It's just kind of using other people's like jumping off points and then having me just go full out into it. So, yeah, that's kind of weird how that works out. That's a good analogy. What else did I want to talk about here? Before this video, I don't want to make, it's going to be a long video, who cares? What else did I want to talk about? Let's see. So I've actually been sleeping pretty well. I've been kind of sick, but that makes sense because I've essentially been not taking care of myself the past 3 weeks. Yeah, I think that's really it. I think I covered most of the stuff I wanted to cover. And yeah, so I'll be uploading some more vlogs and stuff once I start, oh yeah, that's the other thing too. So I actually, for just some ideas kind of down the road, you know what, maybe I should get my phone for this. But I was talking to someone that I know in the restaurant industry, and they said that they would be interested if I were to implement their order system into my site. And it would be kind of like Uber Eats, except it would be going through my site. I don't know if I can, that'd be down the road. That'd be year down the road, because there's a lot of other stuff I have to do. But you know, the fact that there's, and this is a person who owns a decent chain of restaurants, by the way. So it's not, I mean, you guys know the company. I don't know if I should say it right now. You guys can almost guarantee you know the company. They own a lot of them around here. So that would be very, very interesting if I could implement that into the site somehow. I also, let's see, some other things too. Digital products, yeah, digital products, 1-day shipping, that's all figured out. Packaging, I figured that out. Anything else? Anything else I want? So I'm just going through the list here. I actually have a giant list of stuff I need to cover in the next few months. Let's see here. I think that's roughly it, actually. I think I covered all the stuff I wanted to talk about here. For the most part, I mean, everything. Oh yeah, so I guess we'll quickly talk about marketing strategy. So what am I going to do to market the site? I guess I came up with a few good ideas. So I'll be obviously using social media. That's how I'm gonna, one of the ways I'll get traffic for sure. I'm pretty good at that. Let's see, I was also thinking about some old school stuff like going door to door or mailing flyers just to spread awareness, like, hey, free 1-day shipping, or, you know, sell a product, sell your old goods, or buy this, get 1-day shipping, you know, just, you know, some sort of flyer marketing campaign, kind of old school. But I would do it in a cheap way, where I wouldn't hire a company and I would do it myself. And I had to do, that was part of my old job, by the way. Part of my old job was getting real estate flyers out and trying to get traction that way when I was in the real estate game. And that works in certain local areas. It works with certain people. We'll see if it works with this. I'm gonna try and keep my costs down as much as possible. So I won't be hiring anyone. I won't be using any fancy paper or whatever, making the cost, you know, $2 a letter like it was in my old company. That was ridiculous. So let's see, I might do like I'll be going around here like putting up signs on places where I'm allowed to actually do that. I'll be asking, I might be paying people to do that. We'll see, I'll obviously be marketing, paying ads through Google AdWords, social media. I'll be posting on any public place possible. I'll be giving away stuff online, so you guys stay tuned for that, whether it's gift cards or whether it's products, we'll see. I'll be doing let's see here. Oh, I need to get the referral program up too. And if you guys sign up for the site, I'll be giving away a bunch of stuff too. So yeah, there's lots of stuff out here. You know, that'll be a different video. Still have a lot to cover. So, but I don't want this video to be more than 20 minutes. Anyways, I think that's gonna wrap this video up. Hopefully this is an okay update for you guys. And man, I need to go shower. I'm looking at my hair right now and my face is all oily and all this stuff, and I need to go shower. But I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys can learn from these vlogs. And you know, this kind of life is not for everyone. And I think it's important to show, because most people, especially the people close to me right now, they're kind of saying like, why are you doing this? You're working 24/7, you know, why are you doing this? You gotta enjoy life. And this is how I enjoy life though. It's kind kind of showing progress and advancing and learning something new all the time and challenging yourself. That's what makes me happy. If you aren't one of those people, then this is not for you. So thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people, and I'll see you guys in the next video.